Welcome to the Pod Bay Door.
Hello out there in the verse. This is the Pod Bay Door. Please join us every Tuesday for informed discussions on new and upcoming movies, games, and tech. And if you love Las Vegas, stay tuned because as Vegas insiders, we can give you a unique perspective on its history, provide insider information, and reveal the unknown secrets of our town, Vegas. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. We're glad you're with us. And hey, if you get the chance, subscribe to us and give us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Also check in with us on our YouTube channel at the Pod Bay Door Podcast.
What is a podcast?
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
My name is Optimus Prime.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Get to the chopper!
Welcome everybody. Holy cow, episode 30. Nerds of the Verse Unite.
Yes.
I'm with a bunch of guys here. We're back in the studio, thank gosh. I'm tired of the audio problems. But my co-host Adam is here. Adam, welcome back.
What's going on?
Back at the table we have Chris, Felix.
Hello. What's
and,
up?
And Sam, raised from the dead.
24/7.
24/7.
The Highlander.
That's right. Well, welcome, guys. This is episode 30. Over 5,000 downloads.
Nice.
Subscribing is going up. Downloads are going up. We got all kind of people talking about us. Very happy about it. But we need. We're far short of Joe Rogan. So we need. We
Joe,
need
we need your help, Joe.
We need to hit it.
We'll bring you some weed. Just meet up with us.
That's right.
Help our
That's right.
viewership.
That's right. Well, there's somebody at the table who apparently knows a lot about weed. I'm not going to say who.
We're all looking at Adam. That's
What?
weird.
But coming up on this episode, we're going to discuss Jesus, Satan, and the gig economy, the Devil's Letter, King Arthur's sword, and why Star Wars is not real good resume point there. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Plus the topless report, Nerd Alert, Gear Grinders, and Area 52, all with a nerd twist. Keep those comments and show suggestions coming in. We do love them all. We look at them all. I will argue with anybody, so please send those in. Tim Tom 36 commented off of WordPress. Love the show, guys. Thank you very much. We get a lot of those. Love the show, guys. I don't really mention a lot of them because it's self-serving, but we do get a lot of those. And he says, I'm a bridge player. Any bridge tournaments in town? Tim or Tom, I looked thoroughly, and there are some privatized bridge conventions or conferences in town, but I could not find any tournaments that the book's going to bet on.
Well, I was gonna say without really knowing, I would probably say no.
Yeah.
Most of the forms of poker have died off too.
Right.
You're lucky to find anything besides a limit or a no limit.
Yeah,
table.
I mean, the town, strangely enough, is diving in. Well, I mean, professional football is now going to be a giant cloud over us, but the esports, we're diving into esports, which if you look back at episode like 10, I was not in favor of that. I didn't think anybody would show up.
They keep building. If they build it, they will come, right?
I guess.
And we're going to talk about the VR arena later on in the show. So.
Yes.
Well, plus at the Grand downtown, there's always tournaments going on. If it's not Super Smash Brothers, then it's Tekken or Street Fighter. Yeah. But almost every weekend there's a tournament going on.
But bridge, and oddly enough, I know how to play. I play a good game at bridge.
Do you?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know anybody that plays. Do you guys play?
No. So funny enough,
is that an ancient game? From the olden days?
Very much, yeah. But no, I mean, you need a partner. Obviously, you need a partner that knows what they're doing. But it's going to sound funny. I can't even find a house game.
No.
Where you go over and have some fun with your friends. Because I mean, it's old school.
Yeah, nobody knows how to play bridge anymore.
Well, I think the biggest bridge players are over at the retirement center, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
you got the big money there.
Hey, no.
The shitty homes or.
Now come on now. Do you guys pinochle? Do you know pinochle?
I know pinochle. Yeah. I play a little bit of that.
Do you really?
These are just these are ancient words to me. I don't understand.
I feel like you made
my grandma used to play pinochle, so
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So funny enough, fun fact: poker tables actually use bridge cards.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
It's a smaller, dimension and smaller numbers on the cards. Yeah, easier to kind of flex up and peek at. Yeah,
gotcha.
so actually use bridge cards.
Okay. Well,
fun fact.
And now you know.
Now you know. Cribbage. You play cribbage?
I played a little cribbage.
All right. Look at this.
Quidditch.
Quidditch.
Man, Chris just went deer in the headlights. What?
Chris,
Cribbage?
Chris, I don't understand what's going on, bro. I don't understand the show.
You guys
These are old people.
These aren't real games. You're making this up. No.
Well, yeah, it's pre D&D. I mean, for sure. Well, Tim Tom 36, thanks for the comment. If I find anything, I will email you for sure. But right now, there's nothing bettable, which is all that matters.
You can come and play with us with Jamey.
That's right.
That's right. Looking for a good partner.
Yeah, bring a hot chick and we'll play some bridge.
That's right.
Sonia.
Strip bridge.
Sonia Blades 2, although I would pronounce that Bladis, but okay. Sonia Blades 2 commented from Twitter. First one I've allowed from Twitter to come in because I think Twitter is nonsense. But
you don't want the tweets?
No, I don't want the tweets. No. When Trump stops tweeting, maybe it'll get cool again. But this is just.
I can only assume this is a Mortal Kombat fan.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
But you guys are my drive to work every day. That is exactly what I planned.
Exactly.
30 minutes in, 30 minutes out, or if you live in L.A., halfway to work, you'll be done.
Just that way you can download some more.
That's right. So talk more about Vegas tech. Oh, gosh. Well, we try. And like Adam said, we got a VR thing coming up. So that'll be very cool. But we have great conventions. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. So we will include as much as we can.
A quick small side note about Vegas tech I was going to mention is some of the casinos are soon going to replace humans with freaking robots now at the bars.
Sure.
But robot bartenders?
Yeah.
Like what that movie
It's actually happening. Some of the hotels are actually going to start doing it.
Yeah.
And they already have some self-dispensing bars too at some of the hotels. Like you can get wine or beer.
Yeah.
Just walk up and just boom.
Just put your glass on there and dispense itself, right?
It's kind of like a little key, and it kind of allows you a certain amount.
It's not quite like the passenger.
I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm
waiting for. The passenger's AI.
But see, I don't think that's cool though. Like it takes away the Vegas magic. What happened to the human interaction? Like
no, nobody wants that anymore.
It's so hard to just have a conversation.
No,
Nobody cares for that.
We'll have
you look me in the eyes.
We'll have robot dealers. We'll have robot bartenders.
If I was a bartender, you take my alcohol. You look me in the eyes. All right, you look me right in the eyes when you take my alcohol.
No,
you don't just look away.
No,
you got to have that poor man's psychiatrist, right? That's what you are, right?
That's what I was. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, think of the scenario now. You book your Uber. You hop in the car. You don't talk to that guy.
Nope.
You tweet your drink order. You pick it up from a machine. You sit down to a machine, and
it's got a robot playing.
It's got a robot pitching cards, and because they don't serve drinks anymore, and you don't have a green light, you're not going to get any more drinks.
Nope.
So, and you have talked to no one.
Zero interaction.
Welcome to the world, folks.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world. But Sonia Blades 2. Thank you very much for the comment, and thanks everybody for the comment. Again, we really appreciate that. Please subscribe and get those comments in. Whatever you have a question about, if you think my ravings are nonsense, please tell me, and I'll tell you why they're not. We are to the topless report, the superhero topless report. Are they ever naked?
Are they?
Yes.
Question.
That's why we had Chris here. He's naked pretty much all the time, from what I hear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also
only on Tuesdays.
And also a superhero.
Well, it depends what day.
And also a superhero. Yes.
Yes.
Well, no, you have kids. You have kids. You're a superhero.
No, I have animals.
Yeah, so no. He's got fur babies. He's
got
like
fur babies.
Right.
My dog and my cats.
You have a dog and a cat?
3 cats.
You have 3 cats and a dog?
Mm-hmm. And I love them all.
Are they mean? Are they mean to the dog?
They don't really approve of his energy sometimes, I guess you could say, because he's a Chihuahua Dachshund mix, so he's a little shit sometimes.
He's a little
He's got
biter.
a lot of energy. Yeah, well,
sometimes just unlike me and Jose.
Yeah, well, they don't want him to eat them.
He actually pulls my pants, so
yeah, because he thinks he's gonna stomp on them.
I'm too tall.
Huge.
Yeah, but no, the cats are cool. They're older cats. So the old lady, she doesn't really like approve of him sometimes, so she'll give him the occasional smack. But,
Gotcha.
but no, they're cool.
I've seen that.
Stop prancing around me. Smack.
Yeah.
4 million YouTube videos about that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what's that old joke? Dogs have family, cats have staff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Nudity in comics and hero films. Deadpool, I'm going to put out there first and foremost.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to risk it and say it broke the mold. I mean, obviously, there's some when comic films and presentations were first starting, a while back, and Marvel didn't have a foothold. There was some in there, like the Punisher films and things of that nature.
It helped push the story along for sure.
Yeah, but
it did.
And I'll skip ahead a little bit. Disney. Owning most of everything and now owning the Marvel franchise and now ripping it away from Netflix. They've done
their fair share of.
They have, and back in the day, they instigated Miramax Films, which was allowed them to have films with adult content. I don't mean pornography, but I mean they could have nudity, they could have cursing, and not have all the little tiny tweeny Jasmine fans out there,
having to come back to Disney.
Gape, yeah. But is that a good thing? Because now you guys are very familiar with comics, comic books, graphic novels, and the presentations, anime, and quite obviously there's adult themes in those. Why do you think Marvel should continue with its clean nature? What do you think that Captain America should be Captain America all the way? And yes, Captain America is a man and white.
Hey, he totally kissed a girl in the last one.
He
all right,
did.
Are we also talking about?
I love that bro moment between
Marvel TV shows too on Netflix? Because those guys kind of throw out the PG part. Like,
that's maybe hardcore PG-13. They're fighting people, they're bloodying people up. But there's no nudity in Daredevil.
There was a little bit in Luke Cage when he asked all those ladies if they want coffee, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, but it never showed anything.
Yeah. I don't really think it's necessary.
It showed, what's her name? Boob.
Oh, Misty?
Yeah, Misty.
Knight?
Yeah. The only thing they didn't show was, with Jessica Jones, they didn't show much there.
Well,
but I enjoyed the actual, maybe, like you said, hard PG, like the fighting scenes and the violence,
I think it depends on the characters themselves. The dark nature, I think, is more appropriate for certain characters. But, somebody like Captain America who's a full-on Boy Scout, like, what's the point of trying to make him edgy? I mean, look at him.
He's not going to be edgy.
Well, Marvel hasn't been edgy.
But like there's certain characters, like you look at the Daredevil season 1, like that's one of the first ones that actually like really earned its like kind of R-rated status with just the ultra violence or whatever. It's more dark, it's grittier nature.
And then season 2, the freaking prison scene when Punisher's taking them all out.
With the character like Punisher.
That's all violence and stuff, but there hasn't really been in much.
As far as nudity, I mean, like it wouldn't do anything other than fan service.
The only thing I could come up with was Watchmen, as full as like the full frontal blue man.
The Blue Man Dome?
Yeah. and then in comics, it's a lot more prevalent. Something like, Preacher or what else did I have written down?
Yeah, but, Watchmen, however, Zach did with it, I think it was way back in the closet over to the left, behind the old school papers that my mom keeps. It wasn't mainstream in the front, and I think that's probably
so was Preacher. You're not finding that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, AMC, with its presentations, Walking Dead, obviously it put both feet into the pool at that point, with the gore. But again, we're afraid of nudity. Even Disney even has a reputation way back with Bambi, and the controversy that it was caused with Bambi. I mean, the mother dying and the shotgun going off and the kids hearing it, Old Yeller killing the dog, So Disney, it was no.
They weren't afraid of pushing the envelope.
They weren't afraid of it, but boy, I'll tell you, you talk about men aside. I mean, that's the litmus test to where it goes from R to X to so on, PG-13 and so on and so forth is a guy's nudity. But Chris, you think that it's not necessary in the mainstream Marvel films, the Marvel universe, with Disney's influence, they're never going to have any sexuality involved.
No, I mean I just don't see the need for it. I mean, as a full-blooded male. I mean, like,
It
of
all
course,
depends on the
I
character,
love
like
stuff
you
like
said.
that, but it doesn't really like call for it. It doesn't enhance it in any sort of way other than just.
It's not
just
like
a
they've
surface
glossed
fans.
over completely, relationships.
Yeah,
You know,
they've hinted at some
hinted
things.
at all the, they have Hawkeye's wife, and they had, Black Widow. And
Yeah,
Hulk
but it's not trying to
like
be overly sexual in any sort of way.
Yeah.
It's more like this
Or,
is
like,
like
just
this is
kinda
a
hinting
person
at-
with a family.
yeah,
you know?
Or
with
Scarlet
Raven.
Witch too. They had her
and Vision.
Yeah, and Vision.
Yeah, but that's like
Like
just
they hint
simple
at it. They
romantic
just never
stuff.
really. That's never really part of their main focus.
Yeah.
They're
The only
pushing,
thing that
they're
kind of
pushing other
the only thing
stories.
that really bummed me out was when Disney took over Star Wars and they announced that they're stopping any form of slave Princess Leia. I was like, why? That's what everyone grew up on.
Wait, they're gonna like stop sending out that image or
Yeah,
what?
like Disney has shut down like slave Princess Leia. So anything slave Princess Leia related, they it's done. Like Disney will no longer.
So no official cosplays for it.
Yeah, like whoever's cosplaying as slave Princess Leia, Disney.
Yeah, it's gonna be a homemade thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a homemade thing. They don't care because like they stopped producing everything, like the costumes, the toys, like whatever.
Well, like you guys went to Level Up for the podcast, and they had that very intricate costume.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't remember if she had a chain on her.
I don't think she did.
No chain.
Yeah.
No chain.
Although I don't think that had anything to do with
With
slavery.
why it was canceled or anything.
No, it was just more of a safety issue and a pain in the ass. I mean, she didn't want to be hooked to the Jabba.
Yeah.
But
Literally. Yeah.
oh my gosh, I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole
The feminist side of it.
no, the slavery part. Good
Oh,
God,
yeah.
come
Yeah.
on, people. It's
Take the chains off.
all right. I mean, it was I think the finest moment in Star Wars. It was the one that got that young boys and men remember the most. I mean, what's the first thing when you talk about it, when you look back on that particular movie? Leia's outfit.
Absolutely.
And Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. And who killed Jabba? Leia did.
She did.
Yeah.
That's right.
In the costume.
That's right.
'Cause these are all
Women
positive
empowerment.
things. These are all positive things. But yet Disney frowns upon it.
Yeah.
So as a group
they
of
didn't at the time.
right, no, it didn't at the time for sure. Oh, absolutely not. And I think altering all these things just for the modern day.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like taking down the statues and stuff. They're
Well,
just
It's like giving everyone a trophy again.
Yeah, they're like
Just trying not to hurt
erasing
feelings.
history.
That's what Adam and I talked about. It's just instead of tearing down the old, why don't you build something new? Why don't you build something good?
Yeah.
Don't.
Oh, they are. They're building what's called football stadiums, soccer stadiums, and apparently more
walls.
stadiums for everybody.
Right, right.
Everybody gets a stadium nowadays.
That's right. That's right.
So ridiculous.
So what do you guys think about?
The Mayweather fight? Oh, that thing was a joke. I'm kidding.
Bringing it back.
No, I was $60 million that I wish I had that I could have fought for that, but no. What do you think of Disney's influence on Marvel? Were you guys disappointed when you first heard? Do you think they've done well? Money aside, obviously Disney has billions to throw into the brand
And the production.
that's great. But have they heard it? Have they helped it? Have they
I think
not
it's
done
been
anything?
a pretty good arrangement so far.
Yeah.
Like you said, they have a lot of money to put into these productions, and the movies all are looking, they scaling up, and they're making more money as they go. And
For me, I feel mixed
pushing
about
the
it,
limit.
because I feel like they fell into a formula box now.
Okay.
So they have this
Like they have-
algorithm. They use this formula of the movie styles, and then they're like, okay, just keep stamping and making it. Just keep stamping and making it.
Right.
Like the original magic is kind of gone a little bit. The magic of like when you first saw Iron Man, like that kind of magic, I think has died away just a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes the directors do help out and bring in something new to the table, but when the directors do bring something to the table, they end up getting compromised because Disney wants this scene, that scene. Like they have to hit certain key demographics, and I think that kind of ties the hands of the director sometimes. Like the situation with Age of Ultron, like we didn't already plan out these scenes, but like there were times where Disney want this scene done, he didn't want to do it, but they're like, okay, well, you don't do our scene, you can't do your scene. So I think more magic can happen if Disney just put the money in.
There was less restriction.
Yeah, if Disney puts the money in and just let the
Let the
directors
studio go.
Yeah, let the directors do what they're hired to do, and you'll get that magic you're looking for easily. But sometimes you can kind of feel
Well,
tension.
how about this? In the Han Solo, spin-off
Yeah.
movie, Disney didn't like the way it was headed. They fired those two directors. They didn't want Han Solo looking like an Ace Ventura. I think that's a good thing. It could swing both ways.
Yeah. Well, I think Star Wars is also
50-50.
Star Wars is very much like a product nowadays more than it is like a film series these days, where it's Disney is basically maintaining what this product is supposed to be. Yeah, and so whenever you have creative directors, I think they're basically just trying to maintain what they had in line. They're trying to hire guns, to make sure that this is done to what their standard is. And when you get more creative people, they want to do more original ideas where this is not something that's original. This is Star Wars. They want to keep it at Star Wars, so why change what they want? So I think that's why they're getting rid of these more creative directors.
Well, it's exactly what Steven Soderbergh is fighting. He's trying to, as an artist, as a director, as a writer, producer, to maintain his level of production and creativity and not have to be beholden to the brand. Everything's a brand now. Now, granted, Disney is, and their people are masters at maintaining a brand. I mean, good Lord, I can't even imagine their risk management department, and their that deal with all the knockoff stuff and things like that. Just literally, that's all they do is protect their brand. But I think
I doubt they're fighting China right now. I doubt they're going to China to stop them from making knockoffs.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the Marvel that you guys like, the Marvel that I like. I think it's going to suffer ultimately because the brand management does become, like you said, Sam, cookie cutter. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, the producers and directors of the Marvel universe, I think they've established a relationship with Disney with some creative rights. I mean, they do, and they aren't trying to do anything controversial, but they're going to need to. Because I think, now here's a question, do you think DC would do well to be more cutting edge, to have a little nudity, to have a little darkness? I mean, they're trying, but just, just making
I'm afraid you can't push the envelope too far. They're already getting on DC for being too dark.
Yeah.
But I guess at this point, anything that'll change it up a little bit, make them different from Marvel.
I think they could implement it more so than Marvel. I don't think it's necessarily a beneficial thing, but DC is also known for some sexualized female characters, particularly in the Batman area. You have characters like Catwoman, Poison Ivy, so they can definitely push that envelope.
And definitely
but
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and she kind of already is with the booty shorts and everything, and that's great. But
we'll see if they end up making that Sirens movie.
The Gotham City Sirens.
Well, like for me, like you guys seen it. We've been talking about it, discussing about the whole Josh Whedon coming on board now, the Justice League, to lighten things up a little bit. So we'll see how that goes because already
they say
issued reshoots and rewrites.
Yeah, they say he's changed 30% of the script already.
30%?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's actually getting an official writer's credit.
He is. He is. I was gonna say for Marvel and Disney combo, one director that definitely sticks out in my mind besides Whedon was also James Gunn, because he took the property of Guardians of the Galaxy. That was one property I was glad Disney gave to him, and they didn't really say much. They're like, here,
this is an unknown, go with it.
Here, make some money out of this.
Yeah.
And then boom, it backfired and blew up.
It's like the superstars, like all the main known characters, they want to keep it to a particular formula, where the lesser known characters, which is the smarter idea, let them do a more unique twist on it because people aren't as familiar with these characters. So
kind of like Ant-Man, you do some comedy into it.
I really enjoyed Ant-Man. I don't know why everyone hates on it.
I like Ant-Man.
I met a lot of folks that didn't enjoy it, but I love Ant-Man. I thought it was hilarious.
That was good.
The fact that it's a movie about the second most popular Ant-Man is just astounding. It exists.
Plus, don't forget, Baskin Robin always finds out.
Well, it's only so they can go back and do the original Ant-Man later on in a flashback movie.
Right.
Well, and it also has the hottest elf ever.
Oh my god,
that's great.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
I follow her on Instagram. She's getting ready.
Dude,
they show a picture of outfit.
She's buffed.
Yeah.
She's got some guns.
Yeah.
She was on Lost, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Your favorite show. Your favorite show.
Got it in.
Yeah. I know full well. No, I know.
Would you arm wrestle her now in her current state? She's pretty buff.
Shit, I would.
Whatever
I'll
she puts on the table,
anyway.
I'll grab. That's fine. Nerd alert. I'm going to do it this time, Adam, but you guys are going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. I got some cool things, and we'll rip through these. There is a new AI algorithm that has a 91% accuracy of determining if you're gay or straight.
I like it.
I think it's hilarious.
It literally is gaydar.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, seriously. 91%.
91%.
But
think about its uses in the casino, though.
Who used their time though just to make this? Like, was it like some right-wing like Christian person, like I'm gonna build this machinery just to help me in my church.
So I can get these gays out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
out of my church.
No, like he tries it. He's like, oh wait, it's reflecting me. No. I need to reverse the algorithm.
Yeah, but the article that I read did not come to any conclusion as to why. I found that very strange, and obviously whoever this individual is brilliant and is going to be immediately attacked.
Yeah.
But I can't figure out even on a scientific level
why or how that it
Yeah.
figures it out. All right. So what I read was it's just something about the facial features. Being that some gay women are more masculine and some gay men are more feminine. And then it uses that sort of algorithm to somehow come up with it.
I just want to say I feel bad for the person that made this app because the LBG community is
yeah.
they're getting ready. The pitchfork,
absolutely.
the signs,
I
I doubt it's an app right now.
He's ready to be condemned. Yeah, I mean, whoever made this program or algorithm is done.
Yeah,
it's done.
But I mean, it's.
I thought it was funny because the article I read mentioned that the next step in the process would then be to find out what they are based on your political motives, their financial background, whatever, and then you can start basically singling out people based on just whatever you plug into the algorithm.
Well, right, they could use it for voting bias. They could use it.
Exactly.
But I just found that funny, and the fact that I mean anything above 80. Is amazing, but 91%. Yeah.
I'm just picturing what's called X-Men right now. Like Peter Dinklage creating a sentinel just to find all the gays.
It's going to round up all the gays.
Yeah, exactly.
Pre-crime of the gays.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, moving away from the gay issue because I don't want those emails.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Guys, there's nothing wrong against it. Trust me.
No.
Yeah.
But if you're funny.
But if you're going into Walmart and hear a beep, guess what's happening? Yeah.
Right, security's gonna be like, are you gay or are you stealing something?
Right,
Can I check your pockets?
So, are you guys familiar with the gig economy? You guys know what that is?
I was once I looked this topic up.
That's not fair. You don't get to answer. Well, the gig economy is actually we have a mutual friend who apparently refuses to come on the show. That's fine.
Yeah.
And his name is I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't deserve it. But he is just recently upped with Lyft. He's a Lyft driver.
Yep.
And ride-hail services, Uber Eats, Lyfts, anything that is a temporary subcontracted thing they're now calling a gig economy, meaning that it's ride for ride, sandwich for sandwich that you deliver, and it's a show term for us, especially in the production industry.
Per gig.
It's a gig, yeah. But the first man, his name is Rafe Lawson, and if the description of him and his lawsuit has any thing to say about him as a person, I would not like him. But he now has the first lawsuit and trial over the gig economy.
Right.
He was released by well over 3. He was a driver. He was a delivery person. He was a temporary worker at a factory like an Amazon, and he was released by one of those, and he's now suing. Because he feels that as a subcontracted worker, he reached a certain level of employee and therefore should have insurance benefits and right to fire benefits and at-will state benefits. And of course, the company says no. Now, it's changing the employment environment completely. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you feel that being a Lyft driver, that you have the right to sue if they were to release you based on your rating? Because Lyft drivers, if you don't know, for all the people out there, you're rated by the driver, and you rate the driver rates you, which I think is funny. Mm-hmm. But I guess if you, as a customer, if you get a bad rating, they won't pick you up.
Yeah, and you have a choice to, all the ratings are shown for you, so you can pick the guy that has 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever.
Now, I gave the guy, I recently did Lyft. I went to, Adam and I talked about it, and I gave the guy a hard time. His name was Jose. And he came up, and I noticed the girl that was supposed to pick us up had a problem. She couldn't pick us up. She had a 4.9. And the guy that picked us up, Jose, who was a very nice guy, had a 4.8. And when we got in the car and got on our way, I said, "Hey, so what's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Why'd you lose the point?"
Yeah. What's up?
And I asked him, how many bad reviews does it take to get you from 4.9 to 4.8? And he said anywhere between 5 and 10, depending on the what's wrong with the rating. If you were just late or something like that, it means more or less than it does like if you were profane to the customer.
Right. It's got its own algorithm.
Yeah, but it takes about 10 hits to move you down 0.1.
Okay.
But this guy, what was his name? Rafe, was fired because of a rating issue and feels that he should be compensated because he was beyond a subcontract employee. And
well, I mean, all these guys sign electronic contracts anyway, right?
Yeah,
This is all spelled out for them.
Like somewhere in the fine print. I'm
you're
sure
not getting benefits because you guys pick your own hours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You work when you want to.
Right.
You get to pick which rides you want to take and which rides you don't.
Right. And that's another thing that he was called to the mat on, and is included in the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Or
his
in the
acceptability rate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And they said you were terrible. You were absolutely terrible.
Yeah, you don't take anybody. Yeah. And why should you
and his
be
claim,
entitled benefits?
Right. And his claim was to that. His answer to that was that he felt that he was getting fake rides. That for some reason the rides were not showing up. And
that was costing him money somehow.
Yeah.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a big case of lazies.
Well, it sounds like,
he just wants free money. Hand me out.
Yeah, he wants to do what he wants to do, and he wants the company to pay for his time, even if he's not putting it in.
Will he accept trophies? Like, is he okay with accepting 3 trophies from all these companies? Like, just give him a little trophy.
He's okay
instead of a paycheck.
Yeah, he's okay accepting the 7 figures he's asked for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, this could set precedent, though. If the court decides to go with this guy,
that's
and
ridiculous.
Now they all be considered employees, and
yeah.
now they all get benefits.
Now, do you guys in your 30s and on the ass end of the millennial scale, do you feel? Do you like the gig economy?
I don't know why I like that term.
Chris,
though.
for example, no.
The ass end of the millennial. That's.
Oh, I thought you meant the gig economy. Now, Chris, you have a full-time position, or no? You actually no. I mean, I on the outer rim of it, we could actually say that you have you're sort of part of that, aren't you?
Got a couple, gigs, because there's the instant feedback, with the whole Yelp scenario, whatnot. So it's just one of those things where like this guy, he just sounds particularly salty because he got called out on his bullshit.
Yeah.
So basically, we're kind of the same thing, but only it's a one-way kind of conversation. We can get reviewed, but we can't, speak back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can absolutely kind of get screwed because this person's just, in a bad mood, and all they have to do is leave one review, and then all of a sudden I'm getting sat down like, well, what's this all about? I'm like, I have no idea. This guy's just a salty motherfucker, and he wants to call me out for whatever reason.
It's not fair at all. It's not fair at all because it leaves room for those that loves to complain.
Yeah.
It gives them all the power in the world to complain more and
just
more.
get more
It's
free
giving
stuff.
idiots a blowhorn to kind of speak their opinion that should not be heard sometimes because some people just want free
You mean
shit.
the internet?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if people are entitled to their opinion, just some should not be heard.
Now they did make the distinction, and this actually affects you, Chris. You are not part of the gig economy as it's defined, because as a server, as a bartender, the gig economy is defined as you'd serve the one guy and then go, which I think would be fantastic.
Oh, it'd be great.
You pick the one guy, give him a beer, and you're out.
Yeah.
But you're very close. I mean, you work 2 different scenarios. But you're right. I mean, I think it's an unfair, although I think this Rafe Lawson guy is a crank and looking for a payday, it is unfair to, I think there's more undeserved complaints about servers, about gig economy workers, than there are good ones. And I think it's impossible to determine. I mean, there's no algorithm right now in the world that will determine why you lost 0.1. You went from 4.9 to 4.8.
Unless you found it on the dark web.
Unless we get the guy that created the gay thing.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
a rating.
On the dark web.
That's right.
You can figure anything out on the dark web.
That's right.
We don't talk about the dark web, bro. Folks on here don't know.
The first rule of the dark web is you don't talk about the dark web.
You know nothing, just though.
All right. Well, we'll keep it. We'll keep the gig economy as a potential topic.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get
that's gonna blow up.
The unnameless on the show so he can talk about it.
Oh,
right.
Speaking of gig economy, certain other countries have kicked out Lyft or Uber just because it took out from their daily money making. Like I think it was India, one of the places they were fighting to get Lyft or Uber out of their country, so that they can just continue the whole taxi thing, so people can keep making a living. Because a lot of folks don't know how to use the app, they just know how to drive the vehicle.
Yeah.
I was watching it on Vice News. It was very interesting.
Well, that's for a select few that know how to work a phone.
I think Uber markets itself as far more popular than it is, and ride-hailing services in general. I mean, they are popular with certainly the current and one removed generations. But I think, I mean, taxis are a rough bunch. And they are not happy that they lost.
No, they were pretty pissed in Vegas.
Yeah, they were. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, and still, I mean, they jam. You know, Uber and Lyft and all the hailers. You're not allowed to pick up in taxi areas, I mean,
no, they have their own special
areas. You're on a little
areas.
corner of the valet, and you're just above a pizza delivery dude.
Pretty much.
Yeah, as far
Sadly.
as
to the taxi people, to them, they're like, you go pick them up in the FU area.
Basically, right?
Yeah.
You're in the corner down the street next to this group of undesirables.
Which is funny because, there's really no reason for hotels to shun pizza and Uber and everything. They're all bringing people there. I mean, that's what they want. They want gamblers, and that's funny.
Okay.
But, all right, we got this one I love. And I don't know if you guys read about this at all, but there was it's the devil letter. It's referred to as the devil letter. Devil. And it was a 17th century nun that wrote this letter. And it was really undecipherable until only recently. And really, it was taken on face value. They knew it was about Jesus and Satan and the relationship between those two individuals and the world, but they didn't really know what it said.
Did they really know?
I think they did. I think they did, because there was some Latin-based verbiage in there, but there was some not. There was some that was just unrelatable to any language at the time. Well, there were two Chinese, actually one was a physicist and one was a mathematician, and using a darknet decryption code.
Darknet.
Yes.
Yeah. They decrypted this, and they found out, and they have determined with theologians that she was either schizophrenic or bipolar. Because what she was saying was, and I found it very interesting, they have finally determined the two words that they couldn't figure out for the longest time. And she referred to Jesus and Satan as dead weight to the world.
Yeah.
And that's where they started to turn the corner and say that she wasn't, firing on all cylinders. But for the longest time, this was a huge issue for the Catholic Church. And they would
because nobody knew what it said.
Right, and the Catholic Church is big on talk about another brand master. They're big on keeping their brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they you mentioned the devil letter, and you were done. I mean, you were just set aside. You were not allowed to
Nobody
speak to
speaks
them.
of this.
That's right.
Oh,
But
I wish I would have known that when I was going to Sunday school. I'm like, devil letter? Like, oh, no more class.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're out.
Sunday school, sorry.
Yeah, but apparently these guys surfed the dark net and had this code for a while.
Right.
They had this algorithm and couldn't apply it to anything, and then found this, and it was very
I think
cool.
it's very coincidental.
Yeah, don't you?
Yeah,
I
super
do too.
coincidental. I don't believe in ghosts and I don't
Interesting.
believe in the devil.
Do you believe in climate
No.
change?
Climate change?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That's
Oh,
right.
I believe
okay.
in science, okay?
Okay.
Science, bitch.
Good. To make sure we can still be friends. Okay.
Flat Earth.
Yeah, the flat Earth. That's right.
Hey, under that flat earth is lizard people.
I know.
So be careful.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Flat earthers. Do you have any friends that are flat earthers?
God, I hope not.
No.
If they are, they're not friends
I
anymore.
had a guy I worked
Do you
with.
have any-
I knew a guy I worked with who's a flat
Actually, we have a
earther.
mutual friend,
yeah, but
dude.
for real though,
Joe
Joe who?
Munn. The Navy
Oh,
guy.
that's right. That dude's
He-
fucking weird though.
He believes the earth is super flat.
Yeah.
And he's from the military. He's like,
Yeah.
like he believes the earth is
Now,
like,
for
that
real
dude's always
though,
been like a conspiracy theorist though.
Now, for real though, I mean, they actually.
I'm
believe-
not quite
No,
sure.
no.
Now,
It's just like-
Now, I know a person like this. I'm not going to say who it is. I have very few friends, so you can probably determine who it is. But do you have any new earthers?
No,
10,000
and that's
years
like
or
the
less.
Earth was just like
10,000 years
right.
or less old.
No.
No. Now those are the more so than flat earthers, because I mean, quite honestly, it's like climate change. Yeah, duh. You know, it's clearly not flat. But new earthers are a big deal, and new earthers combine the fact that the Earth is less than 10,000 years old, and they have a whole a religious bent on that, and that they're combative, strange individuals, and I know one of them.
Do you?
Oh yes,
Really?
Yes, and I avoid that like the
He's
plague.
the same combative and
These new earthers, are they vegetarian or are they meat eaters? Or
I don't know.
Vegan?
I don't know.
I want to know their preference. That's
right.
that's my
Well,
little.
Jamey's vegan and he's not a flat earther.
That's right.
But it doesn't speak for all the
Correlations,
vegans.
man. You
Doesn't speak for all the vegans.
look at Sam talking smack over here on the
That's
vegans.
right. That's
You
right.
people.
You people. Yeah, aren't the Asians mainly vegetarian?
No, bro.
No.
You're
Did you
totally wrong.
now?
Well,
now,
the monks are. The monks are.
now, did you guys? I don't know if you guys listened to the last podcast. You better have. Did you hear us talk about the fact that 95% of Asians are lactose intolerant? Do you believe that?
Kind of, sort of. It
Yeah.
all depends on if you're born over in the Asian countries or you're born in America.
Yes, I agree with
Like
that.
that determines. But not everybody's gonna be lactose tolerant. Like Chai, he isn't. Because when he was a kid, he drank a lot of milk, so it helped him out.
Where was Chai born in Thailand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it seems like we have some weird people involved.
Oh,
We have a few.
We have. Oh yeah, we know.
We can
some
draw.
weird
We
people.
can draw. We can get some comments. We can draw.
We
from,
should.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should.
Are we
I know,
gonna go? Are we just gonna start trolling people? Is that our new goal?
No, we don't have to. We're saying it like it is. It's like we're saying, listen, the Earth is.
But I don't
more
know.
than-
They can't handle the facts.
Oh, I'll hear
Well,
it.
yeah.
I'll-
We want the comments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want the
Go ahead.
comments.
Go
That
ahead.
means people are
Bring
listening
it.
and talking, and I want an open forum here. But I'll get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
10,000 years. I'm saying the Earth is more than 10,000 years old.
Careful, Jamie. They're gonna tear down your statue.
That's right.
They're gonna
That's
tear down
right.
your statue right away.
No, I'm putting the gay thing right on the doorstep there. They're not getting in.
They're gonna hunt you down at every tropical
right.
smoothie.
All right. Well, here's the one that everybody on the panel's been waiting for.
Yes.
The young lady in Cornwall, in Britain, and Cornwall is also the location of a show called Doc Martin. If anybody cares, if anybody's listening that loves that show, Martin Clune plays Doc Martin, and he's this wonderful place in Cornwall. There's the place called Doesmary Pool, which if there's also theologians and historians that can pinpoint where King Arthur was,
Whereabouts where he was.
Sir Bedivere
Yeah.
threw the sword, and the Lady of the Lake reached up and grabbed it and took it into the pool. This apparently is the pool.
If you know the legend.
If you know the legend, if you believe that it's real or not, the individuals, that we can trace, there was an Arthur and there was this, there was that, there was a Sir Bedivere.
Right.
But this young lady found a little 4-foot sword.
In the same pool.
In the same
lake.
pool, yeah, buried into. She walked over it with her foot and found the sword and pulled it out, and they claimed it was Excalibur. Well, the problem is that no one knows if Excalibur was real, and the debate will go on forever, and that's fine. But there's a gentleman that lives in Cornwall that says, I made that and put it in the lake.
He's like, actually, this is what went down.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a LARPer.
Yeah, he's a little LARPer. That's right.
And just to complete the honorable
Yes.
thing, he took one of his swords and he threw it in the lake.
Yes.
Just like Arthur.
That's right. And his name was Mark Wilkins. Mark either has or needs a hobby. I don't know why we're throwing swords in the lake, but clearly it's not Excalibur.
Well, obviously he's keeping it real.
Clearly, if
He's
I
keeping it
lived in
100.
England next to the same lake that King Arthur threw the sword in, I would have to find a sword to throw in the pool. Would you not? Like
might as
throwing a
well.
coin in the fountain, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
kind
right.
of
Yeah, that's how that
It's just
happens.
kinda
that's
strange.
gotta give you good luck.
Yeah. So we'll all go to England, and then
We're just all gonna
fo-
forge
four of us-
swords and
Yeah,
just
so we have forge sword.
Well, there's money to be made. I mean, they make a ton of money over tours to Stonehenge, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
And what people don't realize
Forge
is
your
there's
own sword and throw it in the lake. We could do that as a business.
Now, would it be offensive for me to throw in an Asian sword? Like, is that offensive?
Like a
throwing a
scimitar,
samurai
like-
sword or something?
yeah, katana.
well, it would be incongruous, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
people-
right. You can't mix Mexican and continental.
That's right. But no, there's money to be made out there, and I'm surprised. And I'm very incredulous about stories of this nature, and I just wonder.
I think it might have been kind of
because
a
there
hoax.
is, yeah. Well, I mean,
Like
there's
a
money
planned thing.
yeah.
I mean, for exposure.
Because there's like Loch Ness and
Yes.
Nessie, which I don't like when they disprove things like the Shroud of Turin. They clearly said, well, it can't be Jesus because it's not right. I mean, there's not the right timing. And Nessie and Loch Ness, and they found that this is not possible. It's discouraging to me when they ruin childhood.
Just writing off myths.
Yeah, and I fear that these individuals are just starting to make a money-making venture.
I see. I see.
Not necessarily
Planting the seed.
Yeah, make your own sword and throw it in there,
Right.
or buy a sword shaped duck feeder and throw it in for the ducks.
Or they set up a booth
yeah,
and charge everyone $5 to go find a sword.
exactly,
There you go.
That's not even
Have
there.
fun.
exactly.
Well, there's one sword per day.
Oh,
So
right.
only one person
right.
can find it.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you got to throw it back in the lake.
Right. But it's perfectly built for that type of scenario. I mean, it is the Nessie of swords.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Vegas is gonna do it first, and I'm sure someone in Vegas is gonna do it first.
Okay. Excalibur Casino. What up?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
It's
Perfect.
giving its own
Yeah.
attraction.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of City Slickers too, where they're like looking for the gold. It's like this one game they got to go seek out the golden treasure map.
Totally.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. It's just kind of weird that they stumble upon this sword and like it's Excalibur. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the myth of the lake, right?
And I saw the sword, the kid holding the sword
Nah,
in
it
the
was
picture.
clearly like a movie prop.
Well, yeah. I mean, or it was like Adam Savage on his new show. I mean, what are they? I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Adam ruins everything.
Right, there you go.
Is that the one? No, that's what it's called.
No, you're right. No, test it. Test
okay.
it. And he makes all these. He did make a very cool sniper Nerf rifle, though. I have to give him credit on that. It was fantastic.
Nice.
But he makes all the famous swords and things, and he does it in one show, one day.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was clearly not the Excalibur that I want to see.
No.
It was
No, it
was terrible.
It was like a $10 sword off of some random knife website that
Yeah.
the guy was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to throw this in the pool and be
Yeah.
cool about it.
But
But,
I think Sam's right. I think there's a booth going to pop up in a small parking lot, and it's just going to ruin it.
If I was
And
if I was
then
a
there'll be a bunch
7-year-old,
of, don't forget, there'll be a bunch of hipster millennial food trucks.
That's right. That's right.
Parked around the lake.
Yeah. and
Come
then-
on down.
Yeah.
they'd
Look
all
for the
have-
sword. Get
yeah,
some food.
They'd all have King
Right.
Arthur and the Round Table names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
True.
Yeah.
That's a
And-
good one. See,
yeah.
we're giving out free ideas, bro. We got to hold this back.
There you go.
Sir Gawain's gyros.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
There you go.
That was a good one. I appreciate that one. That's good.
And Uber parking will be around the rock in the corner.
in the corner.
That's right. All right, the Concierge Chronicle this week. Of course, we're going to have we're going to call it Scene Stealers. It's an entertainment review, and we got a whole bunch of things. I'm going to kind of hand it off to the guys, but I'll bring it up each one. It came out. It actually did not suck. Apparently,
It did not suck.
However, it does suck to all the clowns. Clown.
Just a little bit.
The clowns have united across the world. There's clown associations. There's all different clown colleges.
Yeah.
And they are up in arms because now, as if clowns weren't already.
Because now they have something they can rally about.
Right, as if clowns weren't already scaring children around the world.
Enough.
They're gonna say it is the problem. Well, apparently, it doesn't care.
So
Yeah.
it's an issue.
Yeah.
It is an issue.
Now, I liked the television version. I thought Tim Curry was fantastic as Pennywise, and I'm thrilled to see that a Stephen King film didn't flop.
Yeah.
And I hope
I agree.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, though, the minute it didn't flop, what was the talk? Sequel. There is no sequel to It. Stop talking about that. I don't want to see any more Pennywise. I want to see one fantastic film and leave it there.
You know, the problem with that, though, is there's no It 2 book, right? So
No,
then
there's
somebody
no-
else has to write the
I think
crap,
what
and
the
it's
sequel's
not
gonna
going to be Stephen King.
Well, it's going to be when the kids are adults, because in the original miniseries, it's sort of a two-part thing where it's all the kids, they deal with the giant spider thingy, and then they're adults.
spoiler.
And still, well, whatever. You've had how many years to watch this?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a great movie, by the way, if you look it back in hindsight.
the 90th miniseries.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Eventually, they become adults and they're still haunted by Pennywise, and so I think
It would be like the next,
it
clear-
kind of makes sense in a way. I don't think it's necessarily kind of stretching it out. It's kind of continuing the story. The book is only like 1,100 pages. There's
freaking huge.
Plenty of material
Yeah.
to base it off of. So I haven't read it myself, but I hear it's pretty accurate to what's in the books. So it kind of makes sense that they would continue it as long as this one was a success.
Well, I'm
which
glad
is-
it's getting better reviews than our good old friend Dark Tower.
Dark Tower.
So bummed
That
out.
was sad. Sad
So
face.
bummed out,
sad
bro.
face. Too short.
Too soon.
Yeah, it was way too short.
Yeah, how many books are there for that series?
Oh, just like 7.
And this
Yeah,
movie
they
was
tried
an
to
hour and 40
compress
minutes?
that into an hour and a half. Yeah, exactly. That's sad. But anyway, today's Saturday, and actually it came out, so the Thursday nights was kind of breaking all these records. It was $13.5 million just Thursday night. And that's the highest ever horror movie, highest ever September release, highest ever R-rated release, highest ever Stephen King adaptation. Wow. And also the third highest Thursday release this year.
Wow.
Nice.
Behind Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Beauty and the Beast.
That's crazy.
So it shows that America likes to be scared.
Right.
Well, still, if they make them right,
right.
they don't make horrors like they used to.
No.
So, but this one's getting, what is it, 88%?
It's at 88% on Rotten Tomatoes and 90% from the audience.
Yeah, but I think as a show, we're against Rotten Tomatoes, aren't we?
Sometimes.
Unfortunately, we still have to reference them because they're...
The conspiracy theorists around me, they're
losing
not fans of
traction
it.
now. There was another article a couple days ago how Hollywood is starting to turn their backs on them.
Sure.
So, yeah, we'll see.
You never know.
But I do have a really strange number for you. Do you know? Speaking, and I'm glad Chris ruined the end for all the kids.
Oh, sorry.
With the spider, but I'm glad he did it because it's basically it breaks down to a spider film. And do you know the spider film that it has been played the most on every medium? Big screen, little screen, downloads, streaming.
Is it Arachnophobia?
It is not.
Is it Eight-Legged Freaks?
It is indeed.
Yes.
No way.
Eight-legged
Yes.
No way.
Yes. It is the worst, best movie to watch ever.
I think that was the first Sharknado.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, man? That movie saved my life. I was on a long
You
flight.
saved my life.
It was a long flight, and I was like, this whole movie is playing. I was like, all right, I'm going to plug it in, just freaking listen to it. And next thing you know, I'm laughing. I'm enjoying it. It's so stupid. It's good.
It
When I
is.
first got hired
Sean
at
William
the
Scott,
Palms,
right?
that thing was
Yes, it is.
it wasn't David Arquette in there?
David
Oh, David
Arquette.
Arquette.
David
Yeah,
Arquette's in
David
it, yeah.
Arquette,
No, because I remember when I was getting hired, I was constantly sitting in the food court waiting for interviews and training, and that trailer would play nonstop on the big screen out there.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
funny.
Oh, that looks awful.
It was terrible.
It was a
I
terrible
can't believe
film.
that's
Yes.
like the number one, huh?
That's
Yeah.
So bad, it's
insane.
good.
No,
guys.
I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not a popularity thing.
No,
it
but
has just been played the most.
Just downloads, right?
Yeah, 3 a.m. Click it on. There it is. So apparently, Eight-Legged
There you go.
Freaks is on somewhere
All the time.
right now.
Yeah.
How many points do I get for that? For getting it right? Do I get any points? No trophy?
75 points.
No,
Oh, okay. As long as they hand me a tofu burger, we're good.
that's right. No, yeah, you're
Lettuce wrapped.
Of course.
right.
With the fake cheese.
So good job, Stephen King.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it, actually.
Good luck,
Yeah.
it.
Our friend Jose said it was really good.
Outstanding, outstanding. And I'm glad to see that they didn't fall into the it's 3D, it's this and that. It's just a nice, good horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now here's something that I have not seen. We have one panelist, I think.
You don't have to watch it, trust me.
But I have to say that as brand management, if I turn on Netflix, it's there. Right in my face,
Yeah,
every single time.
It's the hot spot.
It's the hot spot, along with
That was
the
Immortal Iron Fist.
Heads up,
and the Verve.
Netflix is lying to you. Netflix is lying to you.
Yeah, and so Death Note. Now, Sam.
Just watch the anime. That's all you gotta do.
Watch the
Don't
anime.
Now, give me some background on Death Note.
Yeah, what if we haven't watched the anime
I got,
like
I got
myself?
nothing. What is Death Note about?
Hang on.
Do it.
No, I was gonna say
breath, deep
like
breath.
that the
Deep
anime
breath.
is way better because I
Well,
only watched a
obviously.
snippet of the movie. He watched the whole movie.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So am I the only one that actually saw the movie?
The movie, yes.
I saw him streaming like a little bitch.
All right, spoiler. It sucks. It's really bad.
Can we give it -5 stars?
Now, is the reason because of its content, or is the reason Netflix?
The way I look at the film as a whole, if you're a fan of the anime or the source material in general, the way I am, I mean, it's a bastardization of what it is. It's not good. It takes the characters and it just makes it something that it's not. If you have no history with it whatsoever, if you're going in there clean slate, know nothing about it, you're not attached in any sort of way, it can be entertaining. Once I got halfway through the movie and I realized this is not
What you thought it was gonna be?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I knew it was going to be crap. I didn't expect it to be like, a direct translation of what the original story was. And once I realized it was just, taking its
An
own creative
adaptation.
liberties.
Now-
Yeah, and they took the characters and made it its own thing. It was somewhat entertaining in a bad movie kind of sense.
Now, is this good versus evil? Is this human launched into supernatural? What
a
is
bit
it?
of
bit of
that
both.
with human morality, because
Okay.
the original the manga anime, it was basically it involved shinigamis, which are the gods of death, basically. And it involves one character, Ryuk, which is the main one you see in the trailer, which is played by Willem Dafoe, who's actually one of the shining things about the film itself.
He's outstanding.
He's great.
Gotta love him.
But yeah, he's basically a god of death who literally is bored. So he drops this thing called a death note on Earth, which is basically a book where you write a person's name in it and they will die of whatever causes they specify, or if they don't specify, they'll die of a natural heart attack over the course of time. I forget exactly how much time, but that's what they die of.
Wasn't it like 15 minutes?
Something like that. After a certain amount of time, they'll die naturally.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, a kid named Light Yagami, who's just this brilliant, popular kid,
Who's
in
now
high
at
school.
Light Smith.
Yeah, some generic white red name.
Yeah.
It's not the same at all. But yeah, this kid comes across it, and his father's like an investigative agent. So he kind of just starts using it for good. And Ryuk is sort of there as an overseer. He's not really like kind of pushing his buttons. He's kind of like just whispering,
kind of
mentioning a little
mentioning
bit.
stuff.
Yeah,
Hey,
so like,
you
yeah,
can write
do
in
this.
how they die in
yeah,
there.
and so
Right.
eventually he becomes corrupted over time, and that's where it's you see the transition into villainy towards the end of the series. It's a great arc. It's a really, really amazing
And then
story.
there's a character named L that's trying to catch him throughout the whole series. Like every episode, they're trying to catch each other.
Because that's not confusing L and Light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But just the way the anime series is written itself and the way it's shown, it's really good. The cat and mouse game, like, just seeing them constantly at each other.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
from
really
what
smart writing.
from what I've heard, Light is supposed to be somewhat of a genius.
Yeah, he is.
Right?
Yeah,
He's
in the show.
fucking idiot in this movie.
And in the show, what
He
I
is
saw, the
terrible.
one scene I saw of him actually meeting the Shinigami,
Screaming like
and
a little girl.
he literally is like hiding under a desk. He doesn't know what to do. He's scared.
It pissed me off. Like the opening scene, like I saw him doing someone else's homework. I'm like,
Yeah.
in the anime, he'd be insulted and just writes him to death.
And just the film in general is just full of just like stereotypical American tropes. Like it's all about in high school. Like by the end of it, it's like, oh, we got to deal with prom and all that stuff. And it's trying really hard to. And it's also doing very much what's kind of like a trend in film nowadays, where they're implementing a lot of just genre music, whether it be the 80s or whatnot, like how Guardians did it. Yeah. Even Suicide Squad kind of dabbled down.
Yeah, the opening slow mo.
It's just there's constant like just random songs sprinkled throughout that don't really kind of play into it. It's just trying too hard to kind of be
a period thing.
So it doesn't really work for me. And yeah, I don't know, the characters were just not at all. It was
They're
very much
bastardized.
Yeah, it's very much like typical just like high school kind of drama. The girl is like this weird sadist who gets off on the killings and all that, and it's just weird.
I'll be kind of nice by saying just stick to the anime and watch that on Netflix and go and skip the movie.
Yeah.
Now, isn't there a Japanese live action movie as well?
There is,
Yeah, there is.
Is that any good?
That one wasn't too bad. The graphics were kind of corny, but it wasn't too bad. Like it was closer than this American movie.
Yeah,
big time.
It kind of almost looks like a fan made film. Almost, it's kind of cheesy looking, but it's much more accurate. And it does the story so much justice.
In my opinion, when Hollywood gets a hold of an anime that's really like classic, and they always ruin it.
They will.
They always ruin it. So I had no expectations that this was going to be good.
No.
So we need to start. We have tomatoes. We have 1 to 5. We have all this kind of thing. We need to start our own.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, we'll make it very simple. Are we going to close the pod bay door on this and blow it out the airlock?
There you go.
Or are we going to let it come on the
come on
on
board?
the base? Yeah.
No, this one's out the airlock.
Out the airlock.
Yeah.
Airlock.
All right.
Push the button.
So pod bay door closed on death note. All right.
I like it.
Now, speaking of the airlock and blowing out, we're going to go back to Disney. There is a young lady who is in charge of the Star Wars personnel. Her name is Kathy, full name Kathleen. And she has
Kathy.
She was responsible for removing the directors of the Han Solo film, and she has now put her stamp of disapproval on the director of the next Star Wars
Episode 9.
Episode 9.
Yes.
He was unceremoniously blown out the airlock, and for replacement to be named later. Now, this is the young
front runners there being the directors of 7 and 8.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson.
Yeah. Now, everybody is claiming. They always love to say this. We're going to go a different direction. our visions are not
creative differences.
Creative differences. He had a different vision. When it comes right down to it, the director, of course, he was the director of Jurassic World, which was a blowout success.
Yeah.
And then he did regarding
Book of Henry.
Book of Henry, which was a complete opposite. It was a failure on every level.
Never heard of it.
He is, as directors should be, which is what he said in response to this firing, I guess. They called him very confident, as a director should be. But apparently his confidence went into
kind of wavered a little.
Went to a different level. He was.
He was a little too confident.
Bombastic was the word that was used in the, and he's now gone. However, I think this does not bode well for. They're going to say they're protecting the brand. I'm going to say that they're tarnishing it by doing this again. Yeah. You know, especially if Abrams then jumps back on, because why not just have him on? Now I know he's a busy man.
Well, you know, he was disappointed after episode 7 that he actually didn't get to direct episode 8. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was going to jump back on board. Yeah. That's probably something he's interested in. But I agree. Cutting directors mid-movie or before it even starts, in this case, he never looks good. Mm-hmm. No. So the end product is always going to be judged harsher. Yes. That's why Justice League's going to get torn to shreds, even though it's going to be awesome. Yeah. And that's why, Han Solo movie, you never know how it's going to be received.
Well, plus the technicality part that the directors can still release their own version of Han Solo.
Yeah, their own director's cut. Yeah. I doubt that the mouse will let them, but it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be very
but you're right.
common thing to do now. Though. It's just
right. And because the nerd nation and the fanboy nation and everybody involved with that, they are not only have become powerful, the machine that they run is a fickle beast, and I think you're right. I think if you play too many games with the heads of these films, you're starting already a couple points off.
In the hole.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they need to stick with somebody. And if you want a name director, if you want a bankable Ron Howard, a bankable anybody, you need to just say, hey Ron, come over and do this. Don't start with anybody new and then make a big deal that he's new.
I think the problem there is they're trying to push these movies out so fast.
Yes.
That they're just signing names to it, like
Are you talking about like a cookie cutter formula?
Yes, exactly.
That's weird.
Interesting.
Exactly.
I think we're just talking about that.
Yeah. Well, because when did they sign on as director? Like they signed him on before they
pre-production.
Oh yeah, because I mean, one thing that I was kind of wondering, like, do you think maybe he was kind of sticking to what was originally written for the scope of this story, where after the passing of Carrie Fisher, there obviously had to be a lot of rewrites. You think Disney was trying to modify the story
a little too much after
too
the
much,
fact.
and where so they didn't meet eye to eye anymore, like he was trying.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I think he was tagged the minute Jurassic World hit big. Yeah. Henry came out. And they had second thoughts. I think it can be that simple. Sure. Which I think is just that's
fickle.
Yeah, because it was a passion project.
They should hire that one guy. What's his name? George Lucas or something. I heard he's pretty good.
He's on an island, dude. He's drinking Mai Tais. And,
I thought he was pretty good at Star Wars. I mean, I think
was he though?
I was just about to say that.
No,
the original. We don't talk about Jar Jar Binks.
So we can talk about political trading. Yeah,
George is too mean. He's too mean anymore, man. He's an old man.
Yeah,
what do you mean mean? It builds character. It builds character.
The Bill Parcells of directors.
That great Jar Jar Binks character. That was awesome.
He's getting checks at the island on the island.
That's right. Yeah.
Which island?
Getting
Lost?
served by stormtroopers.
Yeah.
We already did a Lost reference.
Or slave Leias.
Now the director. For a long time, the mystery of Mel Gibson was going to be involved in Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how real that was going to be, that was becoming. Well, that's not going to happen.
Oh, nope, Passion Squad.
You know what, though? He can do big films. And he can do war films, which I
That's
think
true. I'll give him that.
Regardless
Hacksaw Ridge wasn't that bad.
Hacksaw Ridge,
it was pretty good.
Yeah.
You have to, as an artist, you have to give him credit, or any of these directors, you have to give them credit because these are huge undertakings.
Oh yeah,
and especially a war film that is very difficult. And now superhero war films. I mean, when you're trying to deal with Jatari that don't exist, and you have no background from it, it's huge. And would he have done good with Suicide Squad? said, as a director, being able to assimilate all of that information, absolutely, he would have been a superstar. Now, being an old man, I don't know. If
how
he
well connected he is.
If he
into
has
that.
a bridge to that subject, so and I know nothing about the new director Gavin O'Connor, other than his previous success,
The Accountant.
The Accountant.
Yes.
Ben Affleck being a difficult subject to work with, apparently. So he did a great job. I don't know if you guys like the film. I like the film.
I haven't seen it.
think
Heard
I
good
liked
things.
it.
Didn't he
It was
do
good.
Warrior also? I think with Tom Hardy.
Oh, right, and
Yeah, he
Nick
did that.
Nolte, excellent.
Yeah,
film.
that was
Love
great.
that.
he did
Yeah,
Warrior.
love that.
Warrior was good.
Yeah.
The Accountant was really, really good. I like the way it was written, the way it was done. I like the detail of the OCD for Ben Affleck. Like, it was pretty crazy.
Yes.
How it went into
Yeah,
detail.
absolutely. And the Warrior, the Warrior is fantastic, and a successful film, sort of an underground level, and very difficult subject because MMA, quite honestly, to me, is a very lame subject. It's just it's.
How do you spice it up?
It's campy. It's silly. I mean,
Close your ears, Joe Rogan. Don't listen to this guy.
Yeah,
Don't listen to this guy, Joe Rogan.
you
Close your
know,
ears.
To me, MMA, you just have a couple of cameos of Vince McMahon and you're done. It's a ridiculous
That's
subject.
WCW, but
Yeah, I know that. That's what MMA is to me. It's like
just another
yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
drama film.
I mean, come on. I mean, Chuck Liddell, really? I mean, are we really buying him as a character? I mean, he's a great fighter, but
he was a great character.
yeah, he's a great character.
A good fighter. I don't know.
Yeah, put him. He could be in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget, Kurt Angle was in this movie, too. He was in Warrior.
Oh, that's right.
Kurt
Yes, he
Angle.
was.
And so, that's amazing. Now, this is the one that I'm very curious about, guys, because you're DC fans to the core, and like Adam said, he thinks Justice League is going to be good.
It's going to be good, dude.
That's
it's gonna
right.
be
Justice League's gonna be
That's
good.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
love it.
it'll be good.
It'll be good to us,
Yeah.
but not to the masses, probably.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dallas Cowboys, I think.
Yeah, I don't care either.
See, exactly. Don't care. Who cares what
We're
people
gonna
say?
have
Just enjoy the
Justice
movie.
League and the Cowboys Super Bowl this year.
So just to set the scene, we have Gotham, we have the cloudy, dark skies that everybody likes to create,
Right.
and then through you see two shadows, and it's Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, and you hear a screeching car driving away from the city, which is Jared Leto.
That's right.
So what do you guys think? Do you agree with Jared? Should he be pissed?
I think it's all rumor mill right now. Honestly, just
Oh,
another.
it's gonna-
For sure.
It's,
Well-
it's another TMZ topic.
You think
type
it-
But it's
situation.
definitely been
I
seriously
think it's gonna
discussed.
happen.
I think
You think
Scorsese
him?
is
Oh, yeah.
actually one of the ones who actually pitched the idea of
Absolutely.
Joker origin story, where they want Leo. I don't think Leo's going to be involved. Leo's not going to do it, honestly.
He'll probably produce it.
Well, no, I
He'll
think
throw some money to
I
it.
think the company just really wants a big name like Leo, but a guy like Leo doesn't give two shits about a film like this. To be perfectly honest with you, I think I've read that he's actually gotten multiple offers to be in superhero films, but he turns them down. It's just not for him, So
He
he's
likes
not gonna,
the more award-worthy.
Yeah, I mean, he takes his roles very
Scripts, if you
seriously.
will.
I mean, think about every film you see Leo in; they're very seriously well done movies. He's not. I'm not saying that this couldn't be a good movie, but who's asking for this? First of all, I mean, Scorsese just kind of pitched this idea, and to me, that takes away, from the Joker, giving him an origin. The Joker is a character
I
like
agree.
he's better not knowing his background. I mean, I'm okay with the Killing Joke. I think that's a great story. It gave him some background and the original, Tim Burton Batman, but we don't need another origin story for a
Part of what makes
character like this.
Joker, great is the mysterious background, and
He's crazy.
and you don't know how he got that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think recently with some of the newer comics, they've
Tried to
But
give
They
him a
give him
little
a
bit.
real name.
they gave, they said
and
there's
then they-
multiple Jokers. Or
Yeah, there's
something like
multiple
that.
Jokers
Yeah.
in the universe. Yeah.
Well, I think what has happened. I think you're absolutely right. As there's a mystique to Joker that maybe shouldn't be detailed. On the other side of it, the reality of Hollywood. I think Scorsese wants to do this, and when he wants to do something, that's it. It's done. And DiCaprio is his man, and that's perfect because they're both brilliant
Together.
men.
What about
And they're-
Jonah Hill?
and they're brilliant
What about
together.
Jonah Hill, his guy.
And the problem is, and I think the only argument I have to you, Chris, is the reality of Hollywood is that Heath Ledger set a bar, Leto missed it, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think DiCaprio wants it. And I think he wants to do it. I think the Joker is a character that I think he either wants to hit the same height that Ledger did and be able to say, okay, I got this, or he wants to beat
Or
it.
top him.
Now, I think you're right. I think the fact that he really doesn't necessarily, as an artist, want to be a part of a franchise, I think that's true. I think this will be a one-off, but I think there's a bar been set that Leto missed that somebody wants to get, and I think DiCaprio can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you saw The Revenant, he absolutely has the chops to do it, clearly. But he's not a young man either anymore. He's not He's not on the Titanic anymore. he's getting to look like who am I thinking of?
Jack Nicholson?
No.
It would work if he was Joker.
Well, he looks like Errol Flynn. If anybody knows my mother will know. She's listening right now. Errol Flynn was a huge star back in the in old Hollywood. He was all the time with him. But Rhett Butler, I can't think of his name, in Gone with the Wind.
Oh,
yeah, it's before our time.
I know exactly.
Clark Gable.
Clark Gable.
That is.
Yeah, and but I don't know if he has the background and the passion for comics that he needs. I don't know if Heath Ledger did, but Heath Ledger nailed it, and nobody else has nailed it since. So we'll see.
I think it's also extremely confusing, from a general audience perspective, that all of a sudden there's going to be a different Joker, and then still Jared Leto is tapped to play Joker still down the road. So you're going to have this Joker origin story with a completely different actor that has nothing to do with this DCEU that's going on currently right now. Right. And all of a sudden, once that film's done, here comes Jared Leto again, continuing what's happening. So I think for guys like us, we get what it is. That's not a problem. But the general audience is going to be like, what?
Just wait a little.
It's just confusing, honestly, if you ask me. But
they should keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Well, when I saw Scorsese mention the article writer, who was not of any note, it made mention that Scorsese will now give credence and credibility to DC, where it thus far has had none. Now that was that's a controversial statement to the nation.
He's a great director, but
Whedon's already on the case. Like he's already on the case, saving the day supposedly.
Well, not to mention Wonder Woman just happened, and Patty Jenkins did an amazing job with that. I mean,
she signed on for the second.
She gave him plenty of credentials right now.
Who wrote the article? Oh, challenge him to arm wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know. It was probably a millennial. It was probably a millennial.
So they wrote the article off their phone. They didn't really actually type it in.
A citizen journalist.
Oh, your favorite kind.
That's right. A blogger.
Well, wait, maybe it's a vlogger too.
A vlogger, yes. You know what? More power to them. If they're making money, great. Moving on to the last one in our Scene Stealers. 2019. Do I give a rat's ass about Game of Thrones waiting 2 years? Is anybody going to care in 2019?
I will.
I will.
Certainly will.
Now, here's a big
question.
It's
a long time for the 6 episodes.
Here's what I did to get to not get ready. That sounds strange, but to get ready for this season, I watched the entire thing.
Right.
Will you guys do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Sometime in 2019.
I mean, I got 2 years. I'll probably watch it once or twice.
I tend to throw a party.
Yeah. I tend to do that honestly before every season.
Every
I kind of go back. Not every season because that's a lot to take in, but I try to watch at least some of the better parts. And also, it's one of those shows that makes more sense when you rewatch it after you've progressed in the story because
getting all those subtle hints and
jump right
some of the plants.
It's hard to kind of like grasp how much you're discussing because it's a lot of like no knowledge to them, but as an audience, you don't know what the hell they're actually talking about. So once things are revealed, you go back like, they
really were kind of talking about that beforehand.
There's so much more details and foreshadowing that you never realize until you go back and rewatch it again. I think it's definitely one of those shows that's absolutely worth rewatching multiple times over. I
agree.
Now, I asked Adam this, and his answer was interesting. Chris, I'll ask you. Obviously, the book series is over as it regards the show, and they're writing it new as the show is coming on. When it's all said and done, in 2019, when the show is over, when you've watched, when you've had your parties and your Game of Thrones watching parties and so on and so forth, are you going to read the book?
Oh, I've already read 3 of the books. I'm on the 4th one right now.
Okay.
I think they're absolutely worth reading. Yeah, I mean, they're great. I mean, it's one of those, if you enjoy at least what's on the surface of the show, when they discuss the lore, the book is that and so much more.
Okay.
And he still has 2 more books to release. The Winds of Winter, which has been in limbo for how many years now, and then A Dream of Summer, I think, is the last book that's supposed to come out in the next 30 years. So, I'm absolutely going to continue to read them. And then he's also doing spin-off books, too. I think there's one that's going to be based on the Targaryen dynasty. If you're that much into the series, which I am, I really enjoy reading the lore. Like some people have Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever. Like I enjoy like the lore of Game of Thrones. I think there's a lot to take in, and I find it extremely entertaining.
Okay. Now, Game of Thrones, obviously, on the other side of it, from the beginning of our conversation during this show, Game of Thrones is 100% committed to adult content.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's gore and nudity and good Lord, incest.
A lot of drinking. A lot of drinking.
I mean, it's literally a show based on Vice.
It's not a show to watch with your mom. I'm telling you that.
No, absolutely not. Lots of shows nowadays I wouldn't watch with mom. I couldn't do it. But do you think that if between now and 2019 you see the Variety announcement, Disney buys Game of Thrones, will you be devastated?
Everyone would.
I don't think it'll happen, but
I doubt
it would not be.
It would never happen.
Yeah, it would never happen, but it would not be what it is.
It wouldn't be the same.
Absolutely no way.
So it's a completely opposite. You think it actually makes sense and is a better show for concentrating on the vices of these characters, regardless of what.
Well,
because in this show, their vice is their downfall a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's their weakness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know anybody that doesn't, and Adam aside, because I know he does, do you know anybody that doesn't watch the show because of the controversial content?
Oh, for the controversial,
for the violence or the sexuality or the
the people that I know that
some people just don't like fantasy.
They just haven't gotten into it or they haven't given it the chance. But I don't know of anybody that refuses to watch it just because it discusses incest or whatever. To me, people just. Whatever. It's
does your wife?
It's a TV show.
Oh yeah, she absolutely watches it.
Would you watch it?
Oh yeah,
she's a big fan.
She loves it.
Okay.
Oh, her predictions came out pretty good.
Yeah, she called some things pretty spot on.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
She was good.
No, she's a huge fan too.
All right. Well, since we talk about movies and you guys are specifically have backgrounds in movies and movie theaters, I thought we'd make the gear grinders today a little bit.
I had one quick question.
Yeah.
Can I give a quick shout out to Destiny 2? It's a game that just released this week. It was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to let everybody know that if they like, first person shooters and to play with your friends,
okay,
this is one of the best games by Bungie.
Yeah.
Like it really makes up for Destiny 1. The first game, it was good, but it wasn't
finished.
It was missing certain things. Wouldn't you say, Chris?
Yeah, this is definitely what the first game should have been, and then so much more.
And it was very repetitive and vanilla.
Yeah, this is much more entertaining. It's much more accessible to general gamers if you want to get into it. I think Sam wants to recruit people, so leave your name in the comments, and we'll.
Well, we gotta go rating pretty soon.
PlayStation 4 only.
Yes, PS4. PS4.
Well, and this is also tempered by the fact that Sam was a fan of Red Dead Redemption. So, I mean, we got to knock it off his opinion about 50%.
Listen, calm down. Just because you can't find Electra, it's not my fault. Okay, don't knock down Red Dead Redemption.
So, as long as I'm not riding a horse for 20 minutes in the beginning of Destiny 2, then I'll probably like.
Well, Destiny 2, you'll be walking around for a little bit because you don't have a. You don't have what's it called?
They'll get to it. Spoilers.
Well, he's not patient enough to play.
No, I want to. It turns on, sign in, tell EA Sports that I don't want to be part of their network, and then start shooting. That's what I want. There you go.
Boobs and explosions.
Boobs and explosions.
Too much storyline.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me. Boobs and explosions. Yeah. So Chris. You have a background with movie theaters and enjoying movies, as does the panel. Me not so much, as I've said. Unfortunately, most of and it's funny. I have to bring this up. Obviously from my I wouldn't call them controversial, but my statements about last week. People said you're sounding a little racist-y.
Oh,
I'm like, no, and here's why. I don't like people.
Correct.
I don't care what color you are.
Right. In general, this is the general thing.
We got a whole bunch of colors in front of me right here, and
don't like any of us.
I don't like any of you.
What do you mean? What do you mean colored? What do you mean by that comment?
Persons of color. The problem is I don't like anybody. Assholes come in all colors, and that's the answer to there's one guy that said I was a racist.
Yeah. What a dick.
Yeah. That's right. But I don't like people, and they ruin things for me. But what is your biggest complaint about watching a movie?
Oh, theaters.
In a theater specifically.
In a theater specifically.
Get off your fucking phone.
Yeah, that'd probably be the number one thing.
And not at a luxury theater. I mean, everybody across the country has one where you can eat and sit in bark
it's every
lounges.
theater.
Yeah.
I got something on that
Stop
too.
fucking Snapchatting.
People,
Stop fucking recording. Stop fucking FaceTiming. You're watching a fucking movie. Sorry for the cussing, but I'm just really pissed.
That's all right.
I just think
Soapbox.
my mom's listening to this, Sam. Come on.
Freaking get off the freaking phone. There you go. I'll alter it. But then there's people sitting there like, with the brights on and just
texting
full
the
on
whole time.
texting.
Like conversations.
Like these guys seen it. I'll yell, get off
Yeah.
your phone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
Now, is that specifically? I, honest to God, haven't. I've been last movie I can remember. Adam and his family forced me to go see one of the Captain Americas, and I did see someone pull out their phone, and I saw the light, but they quickly, diffused it. Yeah, and it was an older individual. Now, do you, in your experience, do you guys see? Do we blame the millennials and below?
I think all ages now.
Everybody.
It's
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
They get like, with me, you get like 7 seconds. It's like
Okay.
a time bomb. You get 7 seconds till I yell at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously, I almost got in a fight. It was probably a year ago now. It was when Fury came out. My friend George and his dad and I went to see Fury at South Point, and this guy in the robe right next to us had his phone out probably half a dozen times in the movie. And toward the end of the movie, finally George's dad's had enough. Right? Can you put your phone away, please? And the dude and his girlfriend just got all uppity as shit. And George and I almost had to throw down right there in the movie theater over a fucking cell phone.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, you just
find
paid
time
so
to
much
do
money. Like, just go watch the movie, enjoy the freaking movie.
Right.
Well, that's just disrespectful
and
to the
everybody
audience
else
in
too
general.
who's paid, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, it's like we
It's not
paid
just your time
to
here,
watch this
you know?
movie. Yeah, and you're here to watch a movie. You don't want to watch it, go fucking stream it at home.
That's right.
Stay away from the fucking audience so you're going to distract us. We all came here for the experience, so if you don't care for it, get the hell out.
You think that
It's as simple
people
as
that go to movies nowadays, would go in there with a frame of mind like, I'm here to see a movie because of the experience,
Yeah,
big
I want to
screen,
enjoy
like-
it.
Yeah,
Right.
like why would you even bring a phone?
And it's interesting that with all nowadays the generations today that we're joiners. We don't want to be with anybody, but we're going to join on Twitter. And we're going to join Black Lives Matter and fat shaming, and we join all these groups. And there isn't a group about cell phones and movies. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because apparently they're joining the groups while watching a movie. I don't know. But now here's a tougher question. What's number 2?
I think talking out loud, conversating like it's like,
old school.
Yeah, well, because like I've gone to movies with some people where they're just like, or like, they turn to me like, hey, so you talked to this guy in a while? I'm like, seriously, dude? Like we're like watching the movie right now. And it's not even like a whisper voice, just
Right.
like full on. So yeah, so when's the last time you saw him? I'm like, maybe a week ago, like, movie.
Yeah,
Can we watch the movie, please?
Yeah.
It's really
We'll
good.
talk about this later.
Yeah, stuff like that just kind of annoys me, and just general distractions,
Yeah.
just
Babies
stuff
crying.
like that.
That's my number 2. I was
my
going to say,
God.
that's
Yeah.
my number 2
I
is
don't know how I
babies.
forgot that.
Babies.
Babies.
Wow.
Leave
Babies
us-
in
yeah.
film still.
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah.
time.
There's been multiple
Wow.
times where like, I wanted to go watch Deadpool a couple times with my
Right.
friends, and for like say
Babies to Deadpool.
3 out of 4,
They
Had
don't allow them in
babies.
there, do they?
Oh yeah.
People
they have
bring
an
them in.
adult, yeah.
Yeah.
They can
Well,
bring them
here's
in.
the thing. At the movie theater, the manager's job is to firmly say, hey, no kids are allowed in rated R films. But the parents do have the open right to bring in a baby. So when parents do bring in babies, and a lot of times these were like millennials bringing their babies, it's like, dude, don't you know
Right.
the etiquette? Like, don't bring babies to the movie.
Right.
And they don't even care. They let the kid cry. It's like, really, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, you don't know how to be a parent because you don't know how to take the
I like
baby
I
out.
like when they'll take the baby to like
the corner.
the corner instead of
And you
out,
still hear
right?
it?
Yeah.
You're like,
And
come
you're like,
on.
you just like hid yourself from the audience, but you're still
Yeah.
I can still hear you.
We still know who you are because you're
Yeah.
going to walk in with that screaming machine.
Yeah.
I don't have everything against babies, just not the movies.
Well, no, and usually it's the mother. Instead of, like Adam said, walking out of the theater, they're standing under the one light that's still on.
Yes, yes.
You know,
right.
Yeah, I know.
Spot
I've seen
lighting
that.
them.
Might as well
and the
bring
kid, yeah.
might as well bring yourself a bucket of popcorn and drink too, and just stand there.
Now
know?
you guys are going to go see it. Obviously, I don't know if you're all going to go together, but you're going to go see it either individually or as a group. And there obviously there's a phenomenon with horror films, and I'm going to say that it is stereotypically a part of a specific race that tends to relive or live with the film as it's going on, telling them not to go through that door,
right.
and so on and so forth. Is that something that bothers you, or do you consider that part of your movie watching experience?
I don't mind people reacting, like, the screams and all that. That's kind of part of the fun of seeing a scary movie in the theaters, like people reaction,
Yes.
to the actual, scares and whatnot. But those who are talking
But to
the
like
characters,
verbally
like,
comment, yeah.
that's
Yes.
no, just like, that's just.
Now I'm not talking
surprised that
full
still
on
exists.
Rocky Horror. They're not dancing
Yeah,
in
but-
the screen.
Oh, no, but yeah.
they're telling the individuals what to do.
Yeah,
on the
those like
screen.
don't go in there,
Okay.
like the stuff like that. I can't believe
Okay.
that still exists.
I don't think that's necessarily a race. I think that's like just everybody nowadays. Like everyone talks.
But
like,
why? But why?
Yeah, people just suck as a species, not just for the race.
Well, I'm saying.
Can't argue there.
It's a lot of people that do that, and it's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, you guys remember when they released The Ring at Burn theaters? And had to work security and like walk through and make sure no one was underage watching it. And had to kick out all the people that kept talking. It's like, it was so many people that weekend. I'm like, guys, just watch the damn movie. Just
no, they were there to kind of hang out with their friends.
A lot of times it's the teenagers that kind of ruin the scary movies because they're the ones being overly animated and just being, ridiculous commentary.
Didn't one of our friends got the ending ruined for Get Out? One of our friends on the group text was saying that they went to go watch Get Out and some fucking teen ran in there to yell out the ending and then ran out.
Nice.
That's such a dick move.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the two
that guy
more
needs to be banned.
two more I'll mention. One of which is never going to happen because movie theaters are driven obviously by a bucket of popcorn costs them 12 cents and they charge us $17. And that'll never happen. But the eating in my ear, that's why I don't want. If I ever go to a film,
the loud crunch.
Yeah, I sit in the back. I want
right?
no one behind me. That's where I sit.
Yeah.
Adam knows. I go right to the back.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want anybody behind me. But have you ever been in a movie and do you enjoy hearing the movie explained to an individual behind you that doesn't get it?
Or they like just came back from the bathroom.
Or now I've also been in a film where the older couple, the man was hard of hearing and he didn't not get it. He didn't hear it. And so she was, basically retelling the film, and it was like an
awkward.
echo. The film would go on and she would explain it. So is that a big deal to you? Does that happen much?
That hasn't happened much, but
No.
it would probably annoy the crap out of me. They have headphones specifically for
what
the hearing
about
impaired.
translating? When there's certain families have to go in there, watch it, and then
Yeah, I don't know nothing
there's
about
someone
that.
translating.
I'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
It happened to me a few times where like there's like family and they had to translate the movie because like either
I
the
ain't having
parent
that.
didn't speak the same language or didn't understand what's going on, so they had to translate the movie, and I was like,
Well, see, in my opinion, we'll bring it back to what we talked about, the algorithm from the dark net. I think they were rather short-sighted. I think that having it ping gay people is really not the problem or helpful. I think we need to be able for this algorithm to ping the assholes,
The crazy people.
the crazies.
Yeah, you tell me you can 91%
That's
pick
right.
out the murderer
That's
or
right.
the maybe that's different, but
or
right.
pick out the crazy.
But then
guy.
we go back to pre-crime, you
That's right.
you start picking out people just based on what you think they're going to do or what you think their face looks like or then
Yeah.
how far do you take it?
Nope.
Yeah. When you buy your movie pass, Adam was talking about the new movie pass. When you buy your movie pass, stick your eye up here. It'll swipe by. It'll tell what kind of movie watcher you are,
That's right.
and say you're restricted to this area and this film, and you're going to be an idiot if and you're not allowed to go in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
We make a theater where there's like they have like smoking and non-smoking section. So there's talking and
Really?
baby
Where's
section.
that?
No. I'm saying like we build a theater where there's like a section where it's for like people that talk and have babies, and then the quiet folks.
Yeah.
So you go into the same theater, just there's a barrier where it just like separates you, like little like what's it called?
Segregation.
Hell yeah,
Bringing
dude!
it back.
To all the talkers and all the people bringing babies and texters. Sure, you go sit on that side.
No, you don't get a special section. You get the fuck out.
Yeah, wasn't AMC going to implement this like one practice where they would actually allow like cell phones in a theater?
What?
Yeah, no, there was one company. It might have been AMC or somebody else, but a couple years back they like threw out this idea that they would allow cell phones because, and they're like the CEO was explaining, they're like, oh yeah, well you can't ask a teenager nowadays to be separated from their cell phone, so we're just going to allow them. Like no, so you're basically just rewarding bad behavior, and like you're basically just enabling them to continue doing shit like this.
To being a dick.
Yeah, eventually it never went through because there was a lot of backlash. Thank God, because. It's just like ridiculous. It's a place you go to for an experience. It's not to enable your bad behavior.
Let me tell you this. My friend Randy, who's been on the show before, she general manager at the showcase at the Strip.
Yeah.
She told me recently they're going to close down that property at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And
Where's she going?
what they're doing now is they're building a theater that's going to be a combination restaurant, bar, theater. So as you sit in the theater, you're going to have a legitimate table just like this in front of you.
Right.
Because they have a couple of those in Texas.
Waiters that you're going to have, you write down your order and you give it to you, basically a server, right?
Too much.
Yeah. So super next step level high class. We'll see if that works. If you were going to bring people in, I guess you got to offer them more than what you're giving them now.
Isn't it how the Eclipse set up downtown? The Eclipse Theater?
I think there's one now. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think that's the luxury one, where it's like there's a whole staff and like a whole like
And she said there's going to be
folks
all kinds of bar foods, like legitimate.
So
like,
she has to manage more stuff.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, see, the thing is, and this summer is a perfect example. It was a devastating summer for ticket sales.
Oh, it was.
And it was terrible. Oh yeah.
I want to say like 2 or 3 weeks back, it was the lowest sales ever.
And they called it the summer of bad sequels, or they had a tag phrase for it.
I think it was franchise fatigue.
Franchise fatigue. That's it right there.
More points for this guy.
That's right. That's right. But more and more, as people are not caring about films, they're going to have to make them care about something. And obviously, from what you just said, they're going to care about drinking and eating.
Yeah, the experience, I guess.
And I saw Chris's face, and Chris's face is exactly how I feel about it. I will never go see a film again.
Right.
Yeah. I will. And
what's the point?
Yeah. Like, what's the point of going to the movie theater if you're going for everything but the movie itself?
Right.
Like the point of going to the movies to experience the movie, and then you go out to eat, and then you discuss what you just saw.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of what's the hurry? Like, why do you need all this?
Cram
shit?
it all
It's
together.
distracting
For the gear grinder about movie theaters.
Yes.
The one sound I do kind of enjoy.
Yes.
I don't condone it. I do kind of frown upon it, but the one sound I do enjoy hearing is when you hear the folks pop the beer bottles or beer cans. I kind of laugh inside a little bit. I'm like, I know what kind of movie you're going to watch.
No, see, the one, now I have experience with this. The one I like is a little bit further. The guy pops the beer bottle, drinks the beer, and then you hear the beer bottle go all the way down to the front, and people applaud. I love that. That I like.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Now here in Las Vegas, I don't know if it's true in other markets, other states, but here in Las Vegas we have a chain of theaters that were affiliated with the casinos, station casinos, and we had private booths that we were able to use. I was very lucky to use those. However, and that was great for the general audience, getting rid of those because they were soundproof private booths. The problem is the sound wasn't as good as in the theater.
Totally.
But the interesting thing about it is you then found out who in your group was that asshole.
The guy?
Yes.
Because now he's talking in an confined location.
Yeah.
So
between 10 people, the
that's
loud
right.
guy, the cell phone guy.
But I do enjoy the booth because I can talk shit to the general audience. Like, sit down, get off your fucking phone. Like, they can't hear me, but I can still talk shit to them.
Yeah, you could. I mean, if you found out Chris was that guy, you could tell him right there, and nobody else would know. But
you can tell him, all right, you're back down with the general audience guy.
But see, we're lucky because the private booth we go to has a Bose sound system. So it sounds nice.
It's good, but it's not the same as the full.
Yeah, it's not the same as the theater.
It's like a home theater in itself. Maybe 10 seats.
But I would trade that for the luxury seats because the luxury seats are pretty nice there. Not bad at all.
I like theaters nowadays that I've been to one. Where back in the old days, it used to be THX rated, which actually had nothing to do with this. It had to do with the sound. It had to do with the structure, not necessarily the sound. The structure of the theater itself. It was a measurement process. Yeah. And nowadays, it's a combination with both DTS:X and Dolby Atmos. Atmos is fantastic. I mean, that's a tech that I think has made it's one thing that would make me actually still go see a film, which, like Adam said, is almost impossible to have in a tiny little booth.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. But we're thanks, guys. That was great. I haven't talked about movies in a very long time. Area 52. I decided to do an old and new. There is a place in Las Vegas called City Center. It was ill-fated from the beginning. It's still there. It's okay. It's high-end for as many people that come to Las Vegas that are actually shopping high-end. I mean, you can get a Tom Ford suit and expensive jewelry from Cartier and things of that nature, and have some great meals. But it was a tough bet back in the day because it happened right at the crash. There's a whole story about the MGM. They were within hours of going bankrupt because of this if they did not get a loan for City Center. Yeah. They have the distinction of having a hotel that was built, never stayed in, and then I'll use the word demolished, but it's a very different story, called the Harmon Tower. Harmon Tower was built. It was not completed by any means, but it was not the shells that you see around Vegas nowadays like the Fontainebleau. But the Harmon Tower was...
Didn't Fontainebleau get sold this week?
It just got sold again.
Yeah, crazy.
We'll see if they're actually...
Yeah, Adam, they sold an unfinished property. Like, it's just sat there and someone actually bought it.
We'll see if they develop it. I doubt it. I think it's going to be a paper transfer. But the Harmon Tower was built straight up, and then they realized, I think about just as they topped it off, that the individual that was the concrete and rebar used questionable materials.
Nice.
Dangerous materials,
jeez.
where it would actually be
fall apart.
over. Yeah, fall over. And it really was doomed from the start. It was going to be a high-end complex. It was going to be condominiums and gaming and so on and so forth. And it didn't work. Well, it was backed by the MGM International Corporation, and it failed. It became a safety hazard. The city said no, and you have to deal with it. Well, obviously they can't remove it and rebuild it, and because it would be a loss.
Can't too much of a problem, man.
But the most interesting thing about this is that the Harmon Tower was its distinction is, whereas most of our hotels we celebrate the destruction, the dunes, the sands, and we there's whole videos on how these things are imploded, and it's amazing how they do it. They couldn't do that this time. They literally had to deconstruct it from the top all the way down to the foundation. Now, the even more interesting part about that, and it's done, it's gone. The most interesting part about it is they sold every part of it except the bad rebar.
What, as they breaking it down?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy as eBay. It's not, but they literally would take it apart and sell it to defray the costs.
Yeah.
So a hotel existed in Las Vegas that was never stayed in, that built
and then
left,
taken down
destroyed.
piece by piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun fact about the City Center: when I saw the blueprints and the setup originally, originally put in a fire department and also EMT station. They're actually gonna put it in there. So
very nice.
Every time I hear a City Center, I think of Raccoon City, because it's just like a little disaster waiting to happen constantly. Because I knew someone that worked there, and they showed me the blueprints, and I was like, "What the heck?" I'm like, "Are you guys ready for a zombie outbreak in the City Center?"
Just in case.
Every movie, Sam, this show alone, every movie either starts or ends up in Vegas.
Yeah. That's right.
Every movie. It's required.
It's by law.
That's right. Well, the new part, that was the old part. The new part of Vegas, and Adam mentioned it earlier in the show, Vegas has debuted at the MGM Grand at the Level Up Gaming Lounge, sponsored by Zero Latency. It is the first free roam virtual reality arena. I said area, but it's arena. And they have, it's going to be a team-based process where you go, and there's drinking, of course. Of course. Virtual reality and drink and whiskey go along real well. It's a team-based esports situation, and they're going to have 3 different play modes: zombie survival, speaking of zombies, singularity, which means that there is a happening in town, much like Raccoon City, a virus is broken out, or like Pandemic, you're trying to save the people.
Great.
And then there's engineerium, which is there is a large section that is being built that is something brand new that and I looked more into this. It's being attacked by an alien force. Are we
talking about like space aliens or illegal aliens that's attacking us?
Either one.
Oh, okay.
Either one.
I also make sure,
depends on
it's PC.
That's right.
Okay.
They have Chipotle outfits on, and they're going to come in. This whole situation first debuted in Australia. I don't know much about that, but the first thing that came to mind, and I still am thinking it, and I want your help, esports fans sitting at the table here. How are you not going to be hurting yourself? I could not find a reference to Wranglers, meaning that are there going to be, much like paintball, are there going to be people around there helping somebody not fall?
From what I saw, it's actually pretty legit. If you've ever been to like a laser tag arena or place that you always have like the ref that shows you the rules and he kind of sets you up.
Yeah,
they'll have those. It's pretty much just an open, what looks like a holodeck almost, which is pretty legit. Just a large open space where you have enough room to walk around each other and, obviously fight zombies and whatnot. The gear looks, you have a vest on. So
you want us to interact, but yet we interact less with each other. So we're acting together.
Well, you're in a group. You're tag teaming this thing, right?
Yeah.
And you're in the same room. You can obviously, I guess, see each other in VR, right? So you're not gonna be running into each other, hopefully. But there are walls, so you can't it's free move, but you can still rent
Sounds like an
stuff.
HR nightmare. Sounds like an insurance issue.
The facility is referred to as a 2,000 square foot facility. They didn't delineate exactly, like where the bar is, because obviously there's a bar, and so I don't know if it's all 2,000 square feet. But and then they also didn't say if they're going to have simultaneous, zombie
Like
survival.
multiple rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
So this isn't open up yet, right? Or is it already open?
I think it opened Friday.
It opened Friday.
Yeah.
So does that mean eventually we have to do a field report?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll do the field report if Jamey comes with us. That means he has to be out in public.
You shoot some zombies there, right?
And he'll see some other people that annoy the crap out of him. We'll be like, okay, we're done with the field report. We're done. We're done.
I do.
Only if we go in a private group.
That's right.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, there was talk in the article that I read about its connection. You can actually, this room will connect to Australia's and so on and so forth, and you can actually, be a team base like you are on a standard gaming console
with another player and another.
Yeah, they lost me on that one because there's going to be some shithead little kid who has all the
cheat
mods
codes
and add-ons. Yeah, no, screw
Played
that.
this 17,000 times.
Listen,
so he knows
listen,
where
it's
all
good,
the
it's
zombies
good.
coming from.
We can insult the little kid
Exactly.
by letting him know that we don't have a bedtime curfew.
That's
but
right.
He does.
Yeah, I'll fly to Australia and squeeze his head.
Get out of my holodeck, kid.
That's
Hit him in
right.
the Kiwis.
But I will definitely go because of one thing. I want to experience the VR. I've mentioned the fact that Magic Mountain is going to have a VR version of the Lex Luthor Drop of Doom.
Gotcha.
And I think that would be an amazing experience. Being half reality, half VR.
See, I wonder if the VR headset's gonna fit over my glasses because I need my glasses. But then again, I do get.
I'm sure they have something for people with glasses. I would assume.
They must.
Hopefully.
They must.
Hopefully.
Yeah. They must.
But then here's this other side of me where it comes out. The germaphobe side, did they wipe it? Is it all sanitized before you
Oh
use
yeah,
it?
no,
'Cause
absolutely.
People are in there,
I don't want
sweating their asses
someone. I don't
off,
want
running around
someone's
killing
shortiness
zombies.
all over my face.
Yeah, it's
I
a
want
pink
someone
eye.
shorty. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually thought about that on my recent trip. It was funny. I had never thought about that, but I thought about that on my recent trip to Universal Studios.
Ooh. What caused you to think about it?
The person in front of me.
Oh
Yeah, the person in
no!
front of me.
Yeah,
What
I
happened?
don't want whatever that guy's.
Yeah,
touching.
they were. If you're familiar with the term disheveled, they were sort of an
Oh,
unkempt,
no.
disheveled individual. I was not getting his glasses, but I was
No,
thinking,
but you thought about it.
hey,
who else got
10
it?
people in front of me. Am I getting that dude's glasses? And where's he been? And what has his girlfriend been doing? And, come on.
What's his date of birth, blood type, social security? I need to check
That's
his
right.
background.
Right. Did he go through the gaydar? I mean, I need to know
That's
that.
right. Exactly.
know.
Exactly.
But I will definitely go. If we go, I will go. Yeah, I'd like to do it as a group. I don't think we'll have. You guys will have to call a whole bunch of friends. I'll get my Julie and John. I think they'll go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we need to find out what is a team. I
Right.
mean, what constitutes a team? I mean, if it's 5 people, if it's 10 people. I just, honest to God, I need to know. I mean, I want to. And what a strange job that would be. I mean, what do? I make sure people don't fall down in the VR arena.
Yeah.
I mean, what an odd thing that we progressed.
I bet you the person that had the most practice would be the person that wrangled all the Wii players. Everyone that played the Wii, right? You're like, I had a lot of practice. My resume is that my family plays the Wii. I'd always wrangle them in, make sure you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, you're hired.
Yeah.
You're hired right away.
Now, I also saw that they beefed up the bar because everybody wants to pretend to be healthy, and they're going to have protein whiskey and vodka and all of Chris's favorites.
With the option of protein, protein shakes.
Yeah, with protein shakes and Soylent. Are you guys familiar with the Soylent movement?
They're actually bringing out the product Soylent out here.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And what's funny because
Soylent Green, right?
Soylent Green is people, and nobody knows that reference. Thank you,
I
Adam.
got it.
I'm very impressed because usually I lose guys a decade away from me. Charlton Heston, great film. Have you seen the film?
I have not
Not
seen
familiar.
it.
Soylent Green, yeah.
Soylent Green is
Soylent
people.
Green is people. They would grind up all of our elderly and
Feed it
feed
to
them
us.
to each. Yeah. And so they've come out with Soylent. So they're going to be sponsoring Soylent.
Is that what it is? What is
It's
that
called
product?
Soylent. Soylent is it's a whole. It's
a molecular situation.
It's
Yeah,
plant-based.
Yeah.
And it's
Are we sure?
yeah, yes. It's. I don't know much about it. I can't speak on that. I will find out for the next show.
It came out of Silicon Valley.
Yes.
This guy, that creative guy's name, he came up with the idea of, he he doesn't want to eat, but he does want to keep working and need fuel and energy. So he came up with Soylent. It's a plant based. It's broken down to like metabolical components to where there's protein, there's energy,
it's like space
stabilizer.
food.
Yeah,
for people that don't want to
food
eat but still
in like
need the calories, right?
a watery, milky form.
Yeah.
And there's been a few documentaries where folks actually did it for 30 days and they lost weight, they gain energy, but sometimes at the time the factory that made the Soylent product itself, the powder, it wasn't up to code. So sometimes when they receive their Soylent, either in drink form or powder form,
That's right.
it came with mole.
Oh,
so,
nice.
So some guys did pretty well, some guys did
Got
pretty
sick
bad.
on it.
Yeah, some guys get sick on it. And one of the guys that tried it lived in New York, and he felt so weird because like sometimes the powder didn't mix all the way because the company was still in its infant stages.
Yeah.
And he'd bring his drink with him to all his social gatherings, and they all like looked at him weird. They're like, "What the hell is that?" He's like, "It's my food."
My food, yeah.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Well, and
For people who hate to eat.
that's
Yeah.
right.
There's all different styles. But yeah, I heard of Soylent. It looks
Yeah.
pretty weird. It looks too funky.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen there's several products where you can buy like Soylent, where you can buy them and they're more for a cleanse. I thought that's what it was in the beginning, where you can buy the color coded bottles and you can do a cleanse. But that's not what this is. Exactly what Sam described. It's some spacey kind of
Food supplement.
Food supplement,
Yeah.
exactly. Where if you're stuck in a weightless environment, you can survive. Other than pot brownies, Twinkies, and Red Bull.
Oh, and don't forget Trail Mix.
And trail mix. That's right. That's right. But,
So if you're sitting in front of your computer for 20 hours out of the
Exactly.
day, you got
Yeah.
you don't have to get up and
Yeah.
get food or go to the bathroom or anything.
Exactly.
You just got your Soylent drink.
yeah, you've got the
Yeah, you drink Soylent and you wear Depends. There you go. You're all set.
Depends a camel pack.
We've done away with the Mountain Dew and Twinkies, and we've added food supplement.
So is that upgrade or downgrade? Because they're both kind of.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Twinkies you got to take out of the package.
But Twinkies live forever, right?
I don't know.
Adam and I have already discussed this. We're heading towards Wally. We're heading towards.
It's already there.
It's happening.
Little hover
bro.
vehicles. We're 5,000 pounds. We're slamming down big gulps. Yeah.
Yep.
I always feel like the future is going to be a combination of Wall-E, Idiocracy, and the Terminator.
There you go.
Or it's going to be a bunch of fat, useless
Oh my
people
God.
who rely
running
on technology.
from machines.
I wish you didn't bring up Idiocracy because it really hurts me. It's
a great
so
movie.
real. No, the movie's great. The movie's great.
But
it's
happening.
it's reflecting.
It's real life happening right now.
It's reflecting what's going on,
Oh,
and
I
it
know.
really hurts the shit out of me.
I think it's going to be a version of that Matt Damon film where the wealthy and the affluent were taken to a separate location to live
Elysium.
in.
Elysium.
Elysium,
Yeah.
exactly. And the rest of us fat bastards
You
will be
get
here.
mine away and have no
absolutely.
health benefits.
Oh,
And
darn.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like Gattaca.
No.
Or what was the other one with that? Bruce Willis, Surrogates? The one
Surrogates.
where
Oh, Surrogates. Oh, it's
yeah,
pretty
where
good.
everybody's plugged in forever and nobody wants to get out of the system,
Yeah.
so they just kind of waste
we're
away.
definitely
Yeah.
heading in that direction.
Yeah.
But
That's the
either
start
way,
of,
yes, I
VR.
I will go with you guys. I promise. I'll
We
ask.
should look up Groupon and group rates.
Yeah.
See what
We'll
it's
take a
at.
look. Yep.
All
Yeah.
right. All
I'm
right.
down.
We'll do a field report.
I'll bring the handicap parking so we can get a spot.
Perfect. That's why
Well,
we're bringing you
Adam
Sam.
has that. It's the star, right? It's the Dallas Star.
No. We all have one. It's called the participation trophy. I can park here.
It's in my wallet.
Oh, did you watch news this week? One of the universities.
I don't watch news.
one of the universities was handing out participation trophies to everybody
Yes.
for the millennials. It was
Yes.
freaking hilarious.
Nice.
Because like everyone that came to attend the millennial celebration,
Yes.
They want
we got a
they're like,
trophy.
yeah, I like
Why
it.
were we celebrating millennials?
oh, they were being sarcastic about it. The
Oh, yes.
university. It was
Okay.
hilarious because
They're trolling them.
yeah,
Okay.
and some of the students were like they were complimented. They're like, oh really? Thanks. Like they
I got my trophy. Yay.
they didn't understand
The
they were
joke
being
about it.
trolled.
Yeah.
They didn't understand the concept of being trolled. I was like, this is the best idea ever.
Well, I found something we'll bring up in another show, the whole millennial thing, and their new not plant based, they're plant living environments, and how how they have engendered this new population of people that are have indoor plants, jungle. What do they call it? They call it city gardens or modern jungles. And so we'll bring that up. The millennials, they're
We're doing some weird stuff.
They're wacky. They're going crazy. But guys, thank you so much for being here. Chris, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Had a lot of great information. Like I said, I don't get out a lot, so I'd love to hear everybody's opinions. As far as opinions, please let us know. Subscribe to us. Click on us. Twitter, Facebook, WordPress. We're on everything. thepodbaydoor.com. Check in with us, and you'll hear all the latest episodes, all the nerd talk. We try to keep it grounded with Vegas, but we have many generations that are able to talk about many different things. We love the tech. We'll bring up anything you guys want to bring up. We'll argue everything. Obviously, we can have a lot of fun doing it. But thank you for listening. Keep listening. We're going to give you a schedule what the next show is. We got some hiatus period coming up, but I will make sure that everybody knows when the next show is. But thank you so much. We're on every Tuesday, podbaydoor.com. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy.
Catch you next time.
Thanks to everyone listening and watching. You can catch the Podbay Door on the Podbean app or any of your favorite podcast apps, including iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and Stitcher Radio. You can watch the show on our YouTube channel at the Podbay Door Podcast. Please download, like, and subscribe. Our social connectivity screen is coming up. Check in with us on Facebook, Twitter, and WordPress. The Podbay Door is closed and talent is out. Hey everybody, thank you very much for tuning into the show. We would love to hear your show suggestions and comments. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, please click to subscribe. You can also connect with us on Facebook using @PBD Podcast, on Twitter using @TPBD Podcast, and on WordPress at thepodbaydoor.wordpress.com.